The space shuttle. We are
yeah.
back. We are back. We are back. Welcome back to OGN in the house. My name is Travis Smith, and I'm back in the hot seat, and I'm here with Jared. What? Jared's here as well, joined as always, co-host Clayton Gable. Clay, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Travis. I'm excited to learn all about Raccoon Tycoon today with you.
That's right.
Oh my God.
This is our first of our new format. Today we are just doing the debrief, and today we're talking Raccoon Tycoon, game published in 2018 by Forbidden Games. Designer is Glenn Drover, and the artist is Jacoby O'Connor and Annie Stegg. It is a game about becoming a tycoon. What type of tycoon? Well, a raccoon tycoon.
Ooh.
It's a game where you are trying to outwit and outwager your opponents to earn the most victory points at the end by becoming a mogul. And you do so by trading resources and auctioning and doing all sorts of other mechanisms, but we'll get into that later. Basically, the end goal is to finish the game once one of the deck of cards runs out. You need to have the most amount of victory points. And you earn those victory points by buying railroads, sets of railroads in an auction, or by buying town pieces or town cards that are worth victory points at the end. So, to set up the game, you lay out the board, you shuffle up all the cards. Railroad goes down, face down with 2 face up. The town cards go next to the railroads, face down with 1 face up. Then you have some starting buildings that will earn you bonuses if you buy them. Everybody gets a couple of, Astoria bucks. This is supposed to take place in the land of Astoria, some fictional place. And then you get 3 price and production cards. And you randomly select a starting player. And as you go around, each subsequent player gets additional resources to start the game with. And the resources are wheat, wood, iron, coal, goods, and luxury goods.
Ooh.
And they are designated up top with these like kind of weird snake-like patterns. And one of those tiles, one of those little assets goes on the bottom rung of that ladder to dictate the price of those goods. And so, on your turn, you are playing your price and production cards, which are split in 2, to gain resources and to raise the price of other resources. You are buying town cards with money, or you're initiating a auction for the railroads. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to collect the sets of railroads, town cards, or there's buildings that you can buy, and the buildings will earn you bonuses and the ability to store more resources. When you first start the game, you're capped at 10 resources, so you kind of have to make some tough choices about what resources you want and how you can slowly build that engine so you can build your town faster.
Yes.
So your turn is pretty simple. Let's see if we can find a card picture that has the price and production cards. So the price and production cards. Nope. Keep
Are
going.
those the green ones or what?
The blue ones. The price and production cards are split in 2. On the bottom half, go back.
Oh, this one?
Nope.
Nope.
Go back. Go back. That one. The price and production cards.
Yes.
Price and production cards. On the bottom half, you have production. On the top half, you have price. So you can pick up to 3 of the items that are on the production side to take into your inventory. If it is shown multiple times, you can take multiple resources. And so you gather those resources, they add them to your pool, and then the price of the items up at the top half of the card will go up. And you're constantly getting and producing these resources and then selling them back to the bank for more money that then you can spend to upgrade your storage, to upgrade your town, and to buy sets of railroads.
Oh.
And when one of the railroads or the town runs out, game's over once you complete the cycle of players, and whoever has the most amount of victory points wins. Before
Travis.
we get any
Oh.
deeper, what questions do you have?
Yeah. Okay. So when I watched the video in preparation for this, I saw this like price and production card play, and I thought
Yeah.
it was so cool how you can manipulate the price of the goods. And then once you go and sell those goods, now the price drops. So
Yep.
that like kind of stock markety pricing and selling was awesome. I mean, just from watching the how to play video.
Yeah, I think I should open up front with this. At its core, this is a market manipulation game where you're trying to hold off long enough until it's your turn to sell off those goods at the highest price you can. But you don't want to wait too long because if somebody else is gaining a bunch of money and they're going to beat you to auction for a set that you need for the railroads, or they are buying one of the town cars that you need, then you might have waited too long and then you get bought out.
And the price goes down.
And the price goes down. Some of these benefits that you get from the buildings are phenomenal. They like will raise the price up to 3 notches before you sell. So like when we played this, one of the players had I think it was the luxury goods. Before they sold luxury goods, it knocked the price up 3 notches, and then she sold and it went down. And it was like, yeah, if you were selling a hefty amount of luxury goods, you could potentially like just rake in so much money. I don't know if anybody ever touched $100 bill in this game. They have up to hundreds, but we had enough to at least make the auctions competitive and to buy these town cards at their highest price. So that, I guess that's the difference, is that the railroads that are earned by these auctions that you go through, you buy with the money that you earn from selling resources. The town cards you buy with the resources themselves. And so you have to kind of weigh your options. Like, I could buy this, I don't know, town card for super cheap because this good that I'm trading for it is not worth a lot right now. And so timing those, like riding those markets between like selling off goods for a lot of money to potentially buy railroads versus buying town pieces at lower costs is all part of the calculus that goes in while you're playing.
You kind of have to play what's available in the market at the time to maximize what your returns are going to be, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because only 4 buildings are shown at a time. Is that right?
Correct. So yeah, let's talk about the buildings for a sec. The buildings are these tiles. There's 4 of them available at any given time. When the game starts, you'll see these basic buildings at the bottom. They're indicated by a B at the top, and they largely align with the resources that are available in the game. You pick 4 at random, and then you kind of sprinkle them out there. So you're not always going to get bonuses for all of the resources, but you might have a wheat, an iron, and then, I don't know, a luxury or something out there. And what those do is every time, like let's say I buy the wheat, every time
that's $4.
$4, yeah. That's that coin symbol at the bottom there of the buildings. Every time I buy a wheat, I get an additional wheat. If I have a production card that has 2 wheat symbols on it and I say I want 2 wheats, I get 2 additional wheats. So you can like double them up.
Yeah.
The cool thing about some of these buildings, at least the basic ones, you can pay the cost of the backside of the card. So there's like a level 1, level 2. You can upgrade those and potentially get 2 additional wheats per. And so I don't know if we ever upgraded those, which is kind of seemed like a missed opportunity. But like some of those buildings are really beneficial, others not so much, and those ones kind of just sit out there. But buying buildings allows you to store more of your goods as you go along. So you could potentially be sitting on a huge stockpile of a certain type of good, waiting for that price to go up. This game is awesome. This game was always really intimidating to me, and I was interested in trying it. And I know it's been re-implemented in Lizard Wizard, but I find the market manipulation versus like the pressure of buying now versus collecting those sets or preventing your opponents from collecting sets of railroads made for this really interesting player interaction where you're trying to get there before them, but you want to be patient and time those markets correctly. The auctions are pretty simple. Somebody says, I'm going to buy Top Dog Railroad for 6, and that's the minimum. Then it goes around, and anybody that drops out just gets skipped over. and you go up and up and up. There's no limit to how high you can go until everybody else has backed out. They pay that cost, they get the card. And then based on the number of matching railroad types that they have, the more points they earn in the end game. So like you see 2 top dogs. If you're, an audio listener, on the screen, we have 2 top dog railroads showing. And if I had both of those, and those were the only railroads I had, I would get 9 victory points versus the 4 for having only 1. And so the more you have, the more points you earn. If you get all 4 of them, you get 23 victory points, which is significant. So, beating people to the railroad auctions is also super important.
But then I would probably want to bid you higher, or like, okay, Travis he's hounding up all the top dogs, so I'm gonna make him pay for it. So that gives me like no thanks vibes, where sometimes you just kind of push people to they got to spend a little bit more, or milking people for more money. That's kind of cool. A good mechanism in the betting aspect of it.
Yeah,
I like that.
Definitely love the auctions. Super simple. They go really fast. And you can try and outspend people, or like, they're going in now. I could potentially have them like force them to spend more than they would have normally, because I know that they really want it. That's an interesting aspect of it. Any questions, Clayton?
Yeah, if I may, and I don't lose my connection here. How many people did you play with? You might have said I was going in and out.
Yeah, we played with 4. It plays 2 to 5, and it was recommended at 4 on Board Game Geek. It says it plays like 60 to 120 minutes. If you're spending 2 hours on this game, something's gone wrong, or somebody's sitting there like hemming and hawing about what to do. We did a teach and a play, 4 brand new players, and we played it in under an hour. Nice. And we played it back to back. So we played it twice back to back. I think people were kind of confused about the initial strategy, or they went in with like preconceived notions about what their strategy should be. And then we played the game and they didn't get the results that they thought that they were going to get. And then we ran it back and people tried new strategies, and it kind of shook out a little differently than we were expecting. So if you ask me what the correct strategy is, or the most efficient, I could not tell you. It's one of those games where like it probably depends on what everybody else is doing, that you'll have to adjust your strategy on the fly, which I love. But yeah, it was simple enough to get 4 brand new players to play it back to back twice in 2 hours. So really enjoyed how quickly it played.
It was kind of giving me raw vibes. The fact that you can decide to start an auction, I like that.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool because like you could have railroads sitting out there the whole game and nobody ever bids until somebody kicks that off, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're doing railroad bidding now. And people like are focused on what cards are available and what other people have in front of them. I found that like the first 2-3 turns, people didn't really touch the railroads. They're all trying to like manipulate markets. And then somebody will like come up with a surplus of wheat or wood or whatever, and they'll buy a town card. And those town cards increase in point value as you get deeper into the stack. Wow. And like, it's like, oh, somebody's on the board now. Somebody's got victory points. And then, you go around a couple more times, people are manipulating markets and getting more money. And all of a sudden, like, one of the auctions kick off, and it's like everybody's hyper aware of what railroads are on the board and who has what. And that's a really cool like player interaction type thing. Let's talk about theme here for a minute. The theme is like barely pasted onto this thing. Like I get it. You're in Astoria and Raccoon and Tycoon rhyme, but the theme is like it non-existent, right? The art is super cute. They have these like Victorian-era animals that are painted on the railroads. Your starting player marker is a little cute raccoon holding a lantern.
Anthropomorphic is that's your sweet spot.
Other than that, like you could make this any other tycoon type game. You could just call this like market manipulator and railroad bidder the game, and it would be the exact same. Like the raccoons and the animals have really nothing to do with it. And
but it makes it cute, right? I mean,
it does make it cutesy. It's cutesy, and the art is very good. But yeah, the theme is like the mechanics are the ones that really shine here. The theme is take it or leave it.
But I mean the animal part of the theme, but the theme of, well, I guess like the gameplay, like you feel like you're really trying to get money and purchase railroads and, you know, become this tycoon of industry. You're saying the raccoon piece of it doesn't matter.
The animal.
Yeah.
You could put this in outer space and it would still be the same game.
Yeah.
You put it underwater. You could make them fish, and they'd still be the same.
That's
game.
right.
Just
I'm
making
into
an
that.
aquarium.
Yeah.
Harpoon Tycoon. What are we going here?
Wait, what did you call it?
Harpoon Tycoon.
Oh, Harpoon Tycoon. Okay, yeah.
Oh, Jared, stop.
So yeah, I know that this has an expansion, and I'm not entirely sure what that looks like. I don't know what mechanics it adds. Clay, did you come across anything when you were doing your research?
No,
No.
I just watched the one how to play video and read some comments on Board Game Geek, and it's pretty well rated. I mean, I don't know why I see this. It's at Target sometimes too, and I see it and I'm like, I don't know what that is. But after watching the video and hearing you talk about it, this seems like a great, almost gateway type game to have around, because people understand buying and selling goods, right?
Yeah.
And after that, you just gotta, you know, teach them a basic auction, and you're off to the races.
Yeah, and we played with people that do not play board games hardly at all, and they picked it up super quick. We gave them like a brief rundown of the rules. The way that I learned this, my brother sat there and literally read me the rule book verbatim. And while I have played a fair amount of board games and understand mechanics, like he got halfway through the rule books and I was like, all right, I get it. We can do this. And then we just verbally explained how it works to the other two, and we were off to the races. So
that's cool.
Yeah, super, super easy. I was always kind of intimidated by, like, I don't know, maybe the artwork or something. Like, you see it on the shelf, it says Raccoon Tycoon, it says auction and manipulation and stuff. And I guess in my brain, this was like a train Forex game. It's not like that at all. It's a simple market manipulation and auction game. And that's it. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. It plays quickly. It's a good intro game. It's a good onboarding game, and I had a lot of fun.
This picture we have up right now is from Tabletopia. What the heck is that? This is online board gaming.
Yeah, it's the same as
Tabletop Simulator.
Tabletop Simulator, similar.
Really? Yeah. So we could play when I finally pull chocks from Alabama, and I leave you here to sweat alone.
That's right.
And I haul up north to connect with Clay.
Yes, we could potentially play this on a stream.
Interesting. Stream.
Wow. Hey,
I'll stream you later.
I think we're kind of coming in here at a nice mark for what we want these debriefs to be, about, the 20-minute mark.
Yeah.
Is there any final thoughts you had on Raccoon Tycoon? Are you going to buy this for yourself? Is it yours?
So it is not mine. The reason that I ended up playing it was because we were, in my brother's house. My brother had 2 copies of it sitting up on a shelf, unopened, collecting dust. And I said, Taylor, Raccoon Tycoon. And he's like, if you want a copy of that, it's yours.
Oh.
Like, I picked this thing off the shelf and I blew dust off of it.
Yeah.
And he was like, I've always wanted to play it. It kind of ended up as like this weird situation where he bought it for his significant other. She bought it for him. And then they never played either copy. So yeah, this is a great game that flew under the radar for far too long. And I definitely want to get this played again. I'm curious to check out what the expansion adds. And how it was improved in its re-implementation in Wizard. So I'll do a little more research before I pull the trigger, but I definitely have a copy standing by if I want it.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's definitely gone to the middle top of my games to buy list after this.
The middle top.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're going to do market manipulation and auction games, this is one to own. So Raccoon Tycoon.
Okay. I like it.
Debriefed.